Hey everybody, Crew Chief 01. Today we're going to be taking a look at a Ruger 1022 build I've been working on for a little while now. I went ahead and I purchased a Ruger 1022 Tactical. And the Ruger 1022 Tactical comes in two versions, one being a target model with a bow barrel, and the one that you see here being a 16.5 inch tapered barrel from the factory. It comes threaded, and it comes with a Ruger muzzle brake. The gun also comes in a black synthetic stock. There are no sights that come with the gun, so they give you a combination scope base to go onto the gun, and you get also the standard 10 round rotary magazine that comes with all 1022s. I went ahead and I put the gun itself into a ProMag Archangel 5.56 stock. I've done a lot of research and seen a lot of different stocks out there offered from different vendors, most of them being all on the aluminum chassis design, being more a traditional AR. I wanted something that was a little lighter. I really didn't want a heavy 22 just for plinking target, messing around with. Really just didn't want a heavy gun. I investigated this for quite a while. Seen a lot of great reviews on it. Never was able to actually get my hands on one and check it out without having to purchase it. I did see, and my concern too was being all polymer, that it would loosen up. I wouldn't be able to take just normal wear and tear. I seen that the stock came with a lifetime warranty on it. I was kind of wondering what that curtailed, so I contacted ProMag, and they said that they'd replace it for life with any kind of failures of screws loosening up or anything to do with the stock like that. So I went ahead and I purchased it, and I'm really glad I did now. I've had this for quite a while now, I guess, and I haven't had any problems with it. I have put a lot of rounds through this one. There's no doubt about that. I put a lot of rounds through this one. I have had no issues with the screws coming loose in the polymer. That was one of my biggest concerns, that the gun would start loosening up with just constant use of it. And I can honestly say mine has had none of that, no issues like that. Very pleased with the setup. The stock is a traditional 3-piece AR setup where you have an upper, a lower, and it has a forend on it. It has a 6-position adjustable stock. It has 2 quick detach points for your sling option. One thing is you cannot change the pistol grip on this. It's a molded in pistol grip, where other vendors you can change out to any grip you want. I'm a big fan of the Hoo grip myself, and this pretty much mimics the Hoo grip, so it was pretty much a win-win for me right off the bat. On the forend, it has an upper and lower rail. You can add additional rails if you want into the vent slots onto the handguard itself. I don't see me doing that. I don't need to hang anything else on it. It's just a blinker gun. But like I said, guys, overall, I think it's a really nice stock setup. I have had no problems. I had to do no clearancing issues. Had to take nothing out of the gun. Had to do no filing or sanding or anything. It dropped in perfect fit right off the bat. I did read some reviews where guys have said that the receiver was too big for the stock or too small. I was a little worried about that, but I lucked out. Apparently this one was made perfectly for mine, so it worked out real good. Take the stock apart. There's 9 screws total in the stock. You need to only take 5 loose to do a thorough disassembly, a complete disassembly and cleaning. While I had the gun apart and getting her all together, I went ahead and decided to put a few goodies into it. If y'all have a 1022 or ever had one, the ones that I've ever had, one thing that really kind of irritated me all the time is that the receiver pins, when you take the receiver itself out of the stock on a 1022, the receiver pins itself mine were always loose. I mean, I've heard some guys said they had to hammer theirs out, but man, the ones I've ever had, they were always loose, and as soon as you take them out, they'd fall. Under the bench they'd go, every damn time. Got tired of that, so right off the bat with this one, this was no exception. These were really loose pins inside the receiver that hold the trigger group in. Went ahead and I pulled them out, and I went with Kid stainless steel receiver pins. They make two styles. They make a drive-in. The ones I got were the drive-in pins, like the traditional, and they're oversized. Well, when you put them in, when you drive them in, it locks the trigger group very securely into the receiver itself, eliminating play, tightening the trigger up itself. Just helps for the accuracy in my eyes. Major difference though for what comes with the gun and an aftermarket part. Very nice. Also, while I had it out, I went ahead and I put in a Volquartsen bolt buffer. I'll go on in a minute about that. Man, am I glad I put that in. Major difference there too. Also, I put in a kid cocking assembly. What that consists of is an extended bolt handle, and it comes with three tuning springs. One for hypervelocity, one for standard, and one for subsonic. And I'm running the standard since most of the ammunition I shoot is all standard. Once in a while I'll shoot a stinger or two through it, but not a whole lot. I haven't had any issues with cycling, with putting this bolt combination in. Also, while I had it out, the factory bolt, and it's, you know, it's decent, but a lot of rough machining marks on it. Really wasn't having any issues though with the cycling of the bolt. What I did was I took the bolt out, ground down all the rough edges on the bottom side where all the contact points are, polished it out really good. I kept the original firing pin and extractor. I was having no issues with them at all, with any type of an extraction issue or light strikes or anything like that. Went ahead and kept all that, put it all back in. Works very well. Also, I put in a Volquartsen auto bolt release. Let's see, what else did I put in? From the factory, my gun came with a 7.5 pound trigger pull. Stock trigger from the factory. It was very gritty, had a lot of creep, and it was just generally overall heavy. I mean, it was just stock trigger. I mean, normal use and all that, but I shoot it a lot for plinking. I wanted something a little better. It seemed like I was just pulling the gun all over the place with that such a heavy trigger. I went ahead and I put in a Volquartsen high performance action trigger group in it. Let me tell you guys, it's a really nice setup. It's a one-piece system. It's a drop-in. Comes with everything you need, the shims, the bushings, everything that you would need to make it work perfectly. Right now, the gun's braking at 2 1/8 pounds, has a very clean brake, has an over travel screw adjustment on it, works very nicely, really improved the accuracy of the gun in my eyes with not having to pull so hard. Such a clean brake, really nice setup. Also put in a Kid Interchangeable Mag Release. One I have on there now is the extended. They make it to where there's a set screw that you can get up to inside the mag well. You can take that, the one that's on there now, off, and it comes with another standard mag release button if you're going to hunt with it or take it out the woods or whatever, that you don't accidentally release the mag. I don't intend on hunting with this gun or anything like that. It's just going to be for target and messing around. Really happy. The quality of the parts, exceptional. Kid makes some exceptional aftermarket parts. Also, I went ahead and I pulled off the Ruger muzzle brake that they sent with it. Whatever. It just didn't do nothing for me. It was big. It just, whatever. Went ahead and I put on a Kid Innovations muzzle brake, and I needed something for the fierce recoil from the 22 long rifle. Man, it was just taking my arm off. Yeah, right. Guys, I'll tell you what. Y'all know there ain't nothing from the 1022 that's going to bust your arm. Basically, I haven't noticed a damn thing of it helping with the recoil or the muzzle flip or any of that. But basically, guys, it just looked cool. That's what I wanted. I didn't like that muzzle brake on there, and before I put it a threaded protective cover on the threads, I thought I'd try this out, and I'm glad I did. The price point wasn't too bad on it. Got it on sale. I went ahead and they make two sizes. They make for the 870 size barrel, which is their profiled match barrel, is the size that I went with, and they also make for a 920 bull barrel. That would have just been way too freaking big. So this one here fits the contour pretty decent. It ain't a flush fit. Like I said, it ain't for their contoured match barrel. So it works out very nicely. Nice finish on it. And like I said, I haven't noticed anything, but besides the aesthetics of it looking decent, that's what I was going for. My scope of choice is a Nikon 3x9x40. I've had the scope for quite a while. I decided to resurrect it off the bench and put it into some use. Originally, I started out using some Nikon P mounts, which are set up for an AR platform to give you the correct height for shooting on a flat top. They are a bolt-down, traditional style ring. I had no problems with them. Very nice setup, very well made. Never had an issue with them coming loose. Held zero perfectly, especially on the 22. I mean, there was no recoil to knock a scope out like that. The one issue I did have with them and it was just probably me or whatever, it's every time I would take them off, I would take the scope off to whatever, if I want to put when I put a red dot on it or whatever, and I would put it back on the exact same spot, it wouldn't hold zero. And after messing around with it for a while, kind of come to the conclusion that I wasn't torquing the screws down probably the same, I would believe, every time. And I think that had a lot to do with it regaining zero the same, since I don't have a small torque wrench. I was pretty much just, winging it, with the old, garage mechanic. Yeah, that's 5 pounds. That's 5 inches of torque, and stuff like that. So that was my problem. What I ended up going with are some QD mounts. And guys, I'll tell you what, these have really impressed me. These are, get this, these are UTG Quick Detach LE version scope rings. The price point on them, like $30. I think I got them from Amazon or somewhere like that. They're not high dollar, so I wasn't expecting a lot for the quality. And I'll tell you what, guys, I couldn't have been more wrong. I've had them now for quite a while. I have had no issues with having to re-zero once I take it off, put a red dot on or whatever. No issues with re-zeroing. The overall construction and the fit and the feel of the rings are very nice for the money. Robust build. I think for the money, it's hard to go wrong with them. I will be taking this off here in a few weeks, and I will be putting on one of my ARs, and I will be seeing how they hold up to the recoil of a heavier round. And then I will see, for the money, if they are really worth it to try and invest in putting another set on another gun that I have. But that's another review and another test down the ways. But for right now, these fit me perfectly. The right elevation, everything worked out for the price point. I couldn't hardly beat it. Also, I went with a UTG Bipod on the front. This is a little bit of a taller one. This is like a 9. They say it's a 9 to 13, but it's more like a 12 to 14 inch. But that worked out even better for me. I really didn't want to spend the $80 or $100 on a Harris or anything like that just for messing around with. And a couple of the ranges that I do, the indoor ranges that I go to here, the traditional shooting lanes have a lower table in them. And I didn't want to be laying down on there to hold the gun and to freehand them all the time. This worked out very well. This puts it to where I can stand up at a very comfortable position and shoot this now pretty effectively. It works out very nicely. That's pretty much about it, guys. Did some rail covers, and I think that's pretty much about it. What I want to get back to is the bolt buffer that I put in it, I shot it for a little bit with the stock setup in it. And if y'all have a 1022, you're going to know what I mean by bolt slap. From the factory, it comes with a steel pin in the receiver that the bolt slams up against every time it's cycled. And it makes a clank. And, you know, I mean, it ain't the loudest thing in the world, but it was something that I wanted to quiet my gun down. I went ahead and I put that Volquartsen buffer in. And I am not kidding you. It made a night and day difference in my gun of quieting it down. To be quite honest now, guys, all you hear now is the round itself going off. You hear none of the mechanism at all inside. You don't hear the bolt, in my eyes, at all. Well worth the investment. It's not a high dollar investment, but if you're doing a 1022 build, I would suggest putting some type of a bolt buffer in. There's a lot of different ones out there. A lot of, everybody about makes them. But in my eyes, it was well worth the cheap investment to quiet the action down considerably. Well, guys, I didn't want to make a real long vid on this. I just wanted to show you all what I've been working on for a little while now. Running the BX25 mags, not having a problem with them at all. I have not had any misfeeds or anything out of them. The same traditional 10-round rotary magazine that comes with them, they're based on. Those things work awesome. Definitely bought quite a few of them. Very happy with them. Even the doubles and the singles, I haven't had any problem with either setups. Alright guys, I hope you all enjoyed my vid. And as always, later.